Hi, it's Russ from Pro Tools Expert, one of the big names, of course, in the charts right now. Whether you love him or hate him, whether you think he's talented or not, is PSY with Gangnam Style. And I know some people are interested in how he got some of the sounds in the track. It's pretty straightforward stuff, but I just thought I'd show it you anyway about how some of the tricks are used in that track to get some of the effects. Let me play you the middle part of the track that appears. In fact, this trick I think happens at least twice in the track, depending on which version you listen to. And that's where we have the breakdown before it goes back through again, and we have the tape stop noise and stuff like that. So we have a 909 drum machine, and we have a stab sound, and we have a rising synth, and then we have a tape stop too. So let me play you that all together first. Let me just click that. So that's it. That's the actual thing. There's not much to it. Of course, the first thing that is pretty straightforward is the kit, and there it is, which is literally just boom, and there's a 909 kick, a 909 snare, 909 clap, and pretty straightforward, really. As I say, it's just probed in very tight, which is really just underpinning all the stuff that's going on with the stab sound then, which I've just gone and lost. Let me just find out where there we are. There we go. Let's go back in here and zoom into that. The next thing is the stab, and let me play you the stab now in isolation. Now that's the big one that most people are going to ask. The first thing I've done is I've gone into expand and created a sound which is basically a super saw. So the way you create a super saw sound is you go down into basics, and these are the actual basic sine waves. And if you look there's one called super saw, and when you then play that sound, it will give you the synth sound that you're looking for. And the big thing to use is the detune. What we mean by super saw is the sawtooth waves stacked on top of each other, and then we detune them to create that big solid sound with them, which is really cool. So that's how we get the sound using the super saw. There it is, super saw basic. Just ignore the other stuff. That was me just experimenting. No effects on it really. I've turned them off. I know you can see there's a little bit of bright hole in there. And what I've then done, because I want to use an effect that comes with Pro Tools, is I've then printed it down to an audio track. Let me play it you without the print first, just so you can hear the difference. Oops, let's turn the right ones on. I said I was experimenting. Which sounds nothing like what I want. So if you listen to the real one now that I've done later, what I want, of course, is I want it to stop very quick. And so what I've done is the original sound there is actually longer than that. And what I've done is I've shortened the sound by making it half the length, and then I've copied it across the grid. So what I did basically was, we can go to the whole stab print. Let me just pull that back out for a second. Let me find the original stab. Let's find the first one it was ever put down. As you can see, that's the original stab print all the way through. And what you want to do then is, what I then did, as I say, I went into Edit, Separate Clips, and I'm separating them with on the grid. And let me just actually make that a 1/8 grid. So I'm going to go Edit, Separate on Grid. Get my teeth in. There we go. So we separate it on the grid now. And then what we can then do is, because I want it to go across that grid slowly and have then there's very hard stops on the sound. Let's move that out of the way. We can go in and we can take them out where I want to take them out, and you start to create this stop sound. But you obviously want it to be faster than that. So what you want to do is then go into your grid, and depending on what sound you want to achieve, is you can just halve it again. So then I can go Alt and drag that to there, copy it, there we go. Then if I mark those two of the first bar and then press Command D, I can duplicate them, and then you get this basically very fast stab sound that stops very quickly. And then of course then what happens is, if we duplicate it again, if we then put it all up here, but this time we're going to make these double time like that, We duplicate and we duplicate and we duplicate and duplicate that. We've now got a bar. We've got a fast one. And you get what's going on there. So actually that needs to be a short one there, and that needs to be a short one there, and then we have the fast ones there. And we've just got to work out how many fast ones we need. So we have duplicate that. Let's see if that's going to give us the right thing now. And what we want is the stop now. So the stop's coming in. So we delete all this stuff. What I want is the last stop for a moment. So let's take all of that stuff out. And we're going to use a cool effect that comes free with Pro Tools, if you get it. And it's the most coolest thing ever. I'm going to open that up a bit. In fact, I'm going to go, that should be enough, but I'm going to just open it back a bit. So what I want is that. Then you go to Audio Suite. So you go to Audio Suite and you go to Avid and you go to Verify. Oh, that's Signal Generator. Not having a good morning today. I'm clicking the buttons. I must stop drinking before I make these videos. There we go, go to Verify. Now this is the new version of Verify, and some people have struggled with it, and the reason they've struggled with it is because of this setting here, which is a new setting. That has to be on 0 for this trick to work. If it doesn't, it won't sound right. We want slow down, and we... See what so we just do that, and we just render it. We'll try it. We don't want fades either, so I'm going to undo that again. I'm going to go turn that off. Let's try that. Actually, we'll bring that out later than that. Let's just pull that back a bit more. We need enough. The longer this is, basically, the more that slows down as it goes through. So you can actually just keep pulling this, and as I say, we're just going through it until we've got what we want. Yeah, that'll do for now. Let's see how that is. Let's play that part then. So that's how you get those kind of tricks. So that's how it's done. Let's go back further back in the song again. Then the next thing is vacuum is used to do a rise synth. And what we mean by rise synth is this. And the way that's done is we've got saw again. And so we'll get that kind of saw sound. We can detune that sound. So we've got saw there and saw on oscillator 1 and 2. So these are two different sound generators, oscillator 1, oscillator 2. They're both set on 8th. And then we use the fine tune to give it more or less detune here. So just subtly is better. That will give you better sound. So they're both doing that. They're both at the same volume here. That's basically their volume knobs, the oscillator volume knobs. So how do you get that trick when it's doing a rise? You've got to come over here to the modulation sources. You've got to come to pitch modulation because that's what we want to modulate. We want to modulate the pitch. And we want the pitch to be modulated over an envelope. So we have pitch there. We then choose envelope 1, which is here. And an envelope is how something changes over time. So we want the pitch to change over time. And the way we do that is that's the time it takes to start from the beginning. That's the attack time. There's the decay time. So I want to use decay time for this because if I turn that down again, you'll get this. If you put it up higher and higher, all the way. Sounds like a World War II plane coming out of the sky. So that timing seems to be right. If I put it in with a beat for a second. Now the depth is part of it as well. If that's set on 0, nothing happens. As you see there, it's taking longer because go the other way. You can do drops instead of rises. And we put it in the track and behind the rest of the stuff, and you can see got some reverb on both of these now. We end up with this for the whole track. There we go. That's some of the tricks used in a track like Gangnam Style, like it or not, and hope you can use those in your music. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.